Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Sunday and it's the 22nd day of the month of November in the year 2020. And in the Timescape magazine studios here right now, I have with me Barrister Ajong Stanislas. Barrister Ajong Stanislas, you're coming in from Canada. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I'm all right. And thank you so much for making our time to be part of this very important discussion about what is happening to lawyers in the Cameroons. And so I have the president of the General Assembly on the line to Cameroon. The network was very erratic, and so we could not have Barrister Morfaw Evaristus coming in, with his image. But Barrister Morfaw, you are with me right here on the phone. Good morning. Can you get me?
Good morning, John. I can get you 5 on 5. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Barrister Morfaw. How is Cameroon today?
The, the atmosphere looks suspiciously calm. There is sunshine, but as lawyers, we are in deep trouble because of the excesses that are being carried out on us by the forces of the Republic.
Barrister Morfaw, we have just received a release, which I see your signature on, indicating that the situation is deteriorating so fast and the Cameroon Bar Association is taking some measures. Can you update us very quickly with some of the measures your organization is taking to try to, address the standoff with the Cameroon government?
John, you see, practice at the bar is a liberal profession. And you talks about liberty, talks of freedom to move, freedom to go and come, freedom of speech, and what have you. It started in the southwest and northwest region where lawyers were beaten up, their chambers were broken into, property was seized from them. Up to date that we are talking, nobody, the culprits have not been brought to book. Neither has their property been returned. It has continued to littoral region. Last month, the military, the gendarmes and the police, I mean to say, invaded the courtroom, which is a sanctuary of justice, got lawyers, tear gas, beating, and the institutions of the bar, and they went in for moderation. We said under these circumstances that we've not yet buried the president of the Bar Association. It is good that we harness all our energies towards that because he deserves some dignity. He deserves full rights to be exercised. Some lawyers wrote that the decisions that were taken were so weak and so on. But you see, from the onset, you cannot take a hammer to kill a fly, John. You must go step by step. We went in for moderation, praying the court to admit our colleagues on bail. But just 2 days ago, lawyers were again arrested. And the modus operandi, John, is horrible, very unorthodox. They were waylaid and picked up, whereas the normal thing should have been, if they are suspects, they should have been summoned through the Bar Council President representative. The bar has an office. It's so bad, John. For this reason, we have gone up.
Yes, go ahead.
Our position.
Mm-hmm.
It's for this reason that you've read through the communique. We decided that the body of our fallen hero will not be taken to places that have been desecrated. we shall not take his body to the court because there we have no respect. The judiciary has declared war against us. Who knows if we go there and all of us are arrested? We have decided that we shall not carry his body to the court. We shall pay the last respect to him in places that will be named in future. Secondly, from the 30th of this month to the 4th of December, we have a sit-down strike, sit-in strike. No lawyer will appear before the jurisdiction that are named in criminal court hearing criminal matters, the special criminal court, and courts which are hearing elections petitions. And that will continue. However, tomorrow we shall appear before the court of first instance to hear the charges that have been preferred against the newly arrested two lawyers. It is alleged there is a list. It's an allegation that there is a list. And so lawyers in Douala, those who happen to be around the court prison that day, are on the run. People are afraid.
Who are these two lawyers who have been? Who are these two lawyers who have been arrested thus far?
You have Nkafu and Cameroon. They are practicing in Douala, and on the day the forces invaded the court, they were there, and so they were eyewitnesses. I think this is just a ploy to intimidate them from testifying. And some of them are even victims. If you saw the video, you will see that one of our colleagues, he had about 2 degrees burn on his face.
Okay, Barrister Morfaw, you just stay on the line. I have also on the line to Canada here, Barrister Ajong Stanislas. He's the chairman of the African Bar Association. So, Barrister Stanislas Ajong, you have listened to the situation prevalent in Cameroon right now as narrated by your colleague, Barrister Morfaw. What is your first reaction?
Let me first precise that I'm the chairperson of the country coordination of the African Bar Association for Cameroon. It's not for
thank you for that
continent.
correction. Okay.
My first reaction is that we have to lend support to the Cameroon Bar Association for all the steps that they are taking to make sure that the rule of law is respected. And we want to note that this has been going on unabated. Why? Because what obtains in Cameroon is that we have but executive orders that are used in the judiciary. For what the layman will not really know what this means, but I might just explain to you. The chairperson of the Higher Judicial Council is the President of the Republic. That is a governing body that appoints and disciplines magistrates. So they are directly under the control of the President. Now, what this means is that when the executive feels uncomfortable with the actions of lawyers, they use their head to trample on the lawyers. That's just what is happening in Cameroon. And this is the time for the lawyers to stand up and make sure that this situation is redressed once and for all.
So what you are saying simply is that the notion of the separation of powers does not exist in Cameroon?
No,
where you have the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary?
No, they don't exist. If I might go further, I can just put it graphically, that the President, who is the head of the executive, is the head of the Higher Judicial Council, and the laws that go to Parliament come from the executive to be ratified by Parliament. So you have now 3 arms of government all meshed in one, headed by the President of the Republic. That's the situation in that country where we find ourselves.
Okay, Barrister Morfaw, I come back to you. You have outlined a series of measures that the Cameroon Bar Association is taking. But if I recall, previously in 2016, common law lawyers staged a lot of protests nationwide, and I remember hearing the Minister of Justice, keeper of the seals, who is the same one today, Mr. Laurent Esso, say when lawyers will be tired and hungry, they will return to the courts. So those boycotts and the strike actions that you are mentioning, do you have the feeling that they will have any effect?
Look, John, the world has not come to a standstill. The world is dynamic. Many things have changed. I hope there will be a feeling whether you like it or not. Litigants will not be assisted in court. They will not be represented. No lawyers will appear before the court. And so in any good judicial system, in any good legal system, a healthy judicial system, will that not have an impact? It will certainly have an impact. Very soon they are going in for elections. Will there not be electoral disputes?
But you remember at that point, Barrister Morfaw, that the minister also said that it will be the problem of the clients, and so it will be beef between the clients and the lawyers, because he said it's a contract between the clients and the lawyers to represent them. And we have seen in the southern Cameroons where even in the absence of the lawyers and representatives, people have been judged and sentenced and things and things like that. Do you think it's today that they're not going to continue that kind of attitude? And with elections, would they not gladly simply throw out all of those matters and your clients suffer?
And so, John, who is a client? Government, the state of Cameroon can be a client of ours. And if we down the road, the client of Cameroon, our client, which may be the state of Cameroon, will be in trouble. There are certain procedures which are very technical, and that without the service of a lawyer, no individual can go about those procedures. You need. There are some procedures, like in the Supreme Court, it is mandatory. It's mandatory for litigants to be assisted by lawyers. In all felonious actions before the criminal court, lawyers' assistance is primordial and mandatory. How will they go around that?
Barrister,
it's just that we are in a country where people don't want to speak the truth. The question you ask yourself, is the ministry of a lawyer important in any court procedure? If we are going by respecting the rules of fair trial, a client must be assisted. A client who wants assistance should be given one.
Yeah, Barrister Ajong Stanislas, I read a report by the Mo Ibrahim Foundation recently, which virtually indicated that the rule of law had collapsed in Cameroon. So when they indicate that the rule of law has collapsed, what does that really mean? In such circumstances, do you think that kind of government would care whether people have, legal representatives or not? Because I imagine situations where the police, the gendarmes, and sometimes even the magistrates are hostile towards lawyers representing some category of criminals. What do you have to say to that?
Well, in every situation, posterity has the last word, because no matter how you manage the situation, it is recorded. And at one time, the people will not tolerate it. Because when the rule of law is not respected, what it means is that we are in the situation of the jungle law, where it's the survival of the fittest. And when there is a breakdown of law and order, it affects the fabric of life. There are many things that business will not go on correctly. Multinationals will not like to do investments in the situation where the rule of law is not respected. And that invariably affects the economic welfare of the people. And it has its own repercussions. At one time, there will be a time when the people will say, no, we cannot bear it any longer. And between me and you, you know what could happen.
Are you saying that that time is now?
Well, apparently the powers that be are fertilizing the ground for it.
Barrister Morfaw, how far are you and your colleagues determined to go if the Cameroon government decides to ignore, everything that you do and continue to operate as if nothing is happening? How far are you determined to go to ensure that you are listened to?
We are very prepared to go as far as the repression continues, to go as far as we can. We did not choose this profession by some... the way I put it, we came to this profession prepared to face the challenge, and we shall go very far. I don't know how far we shall go, but as far as the repression continues, we shall continue, and we shall move on. We are unstoppable now, John. It's too much.
I can understand you, but if I want to take a look back, knowing the attitude of especially Cameroonians east of the Mongo, these appear to be people who are usually not tenacious when they start any form of action. These are people who easily get, either tired, compromised, or that easily give up. Do you have the feeling that right now they have developed the right attitude and could really be determined to walk the talk of getting things changed?
Look, the Bar Association is well structured. And as we talk, we are not talking about Anglophones or Francophone lawyers. We are talking about an association which has been touched. Amongst those incarcerated, you have Francophones and Anglophones. The decision that has been taken by the Bar Association as a whole, and all of us, all the lawyers in Cameroon, are bound to respect those orders, irrespective of origin, expression. That is it.
Faced with this kind of situation, what is your perspective about the future of the legal profession in Cameroon?
The future is very bright. People are just jealous that the bar is becoming very powerful, and so they have to crack down on lawyers so that they will be intimidated. But the move will be futile.
Barrister Ajong, Stanislas, do you share that view?
Well, to the extent that it is for us to make it brighter, but the way it looks is gloomy for now, because the structure and the leadership in place is making it extremely difficult for the lawyer to function. And where the lawyer does not function, society is not protected. What I foresee in the near future is that if lawyers respect the decision of the Bar Council to the letter, there will be a shake-up. And, well, nobody knows the future, but let's wait and see.
Barrister Morfaw, what is the last word that you like to, share on this this discussion, particularly to those colleagues of yours who will be listening to you all over the Cameroons and across the world?
incarcerated, remain calm. You are in, but we are out. We are with you. We shall not relent our effort to make sure you are released. To those who are not yet incarcerated, who are on the run, because nobody is spared, this is the time the bar should be stronger than ever before. It is very unfortunate that all of this is happening when we have our hero, Barrister Patie Chakute, lying. He has to be buried. I invite all the lawyers to stand as one person behind the resolutions that have been taken by the Bar Council enlarged to the President of General Assembly. Let us move as one person. Let us harness our energies so that no matter how strong the crackdown is, we shall be able to stand and move forward a stronger and more united Cameroon Bar Association. Thank you very much, John.
Thank you, Barrister Morfaw. You were on the line to Yaoundé there. And Barrister Ajong Stanislas, I want to thank you so much for your time. And just before you go, when the situation continues deteriorating as it is, what do you think is going to happen to especially the clients, or I should say the litigants in this circumstances?
The bottom line is that when the situation deteriorates, it is the common man that suffers, and that is the litigants in this case. And we of the African Bar Association can only say that we stand by the Cameroon Bar Association. Of course, I will take this up with the Executive Council of the African Bar Association. I'll try to get to the president at the nearest opportunity to have this discuss, because it is the Africans, in this case Cameroonians, who will suffer. At the end of the day, you will imprison all the lawyers, you will maltreat the lawyers will stop working, the pains will go back to the common man. It is society that will suffer. And as lawyers and those who uphold the law, it is our duty to make sure that man does not suffer denigration the way it is being done in Cameroon now.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you on this platform. And I hope as the situation evolves, we shall have an opportunity to, come back here and spar once more on this, this developing story, and see how much we contribute in getting the African continent evolved in the right direction. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.